Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Chana and this is Jar of Fireflies. Here I make videos all about my life as an Orthodox Jewish homeschooling mother of 3, soon to be 4. And in today's video, we're going to be discussing baby names that I love and might actually use. That's right, folks, with baby number 4 very soon to make their arrival, I have a list of both boys' names and girls' names that I'm going to be sharing with you all today. Okay, but before we get too far into today's video, I want to give a big shout out thank you to today's sponsor, Native Deodorant. I prefer Native over other conventional deodorants because Native is both aluminum-free and paraben-free. And they contain familiar and simple ingredients that we know, such as coconut oil and shea butter. As an added bonus, they are also vegan and cruelty-free. The texture is not sticky and it dries quickly, which is great because I'm often in a rush when I'm getting ready after the kids have gotten up. Native stays all day with 72-hour odor protection, even after a full day of housework, chasing kids, or playing outside at the creek. When I use Native deodorant, I feel confident that body odor will not be an issue with me. All right, let's talk scents. I have sea salt and cedar, which has this wonderful earthy smell that just makes me so happy. I also got eucalyptus and mint, which I'm a little obsessed with. This is my current favorite. The freshness of the scent is so energizing. And I also got unscented. As you can see, Native has a wide range of scents that are simple and effective. I really love how all the scents are so different and I can pick one to suit my mood for the day. They also have some summer seasonals right now. Native is serving up the perfect summer day with every scent of their new limited edition cocktail inspired collection. Think tropical pina colada, lakeside ginger mule, rosé and poolside citrus spritz. Cheers to summer scents. Native also offers a plastic-free version of their deodorant using the same formula but with more sustainable packaging. The plastic-free version now comes in a new and improved package. It's earth-friendly and 100% plastic-free. Native has more to offer. They also do amazing body washes and toothpaste. 3 deodorants would be $39, but if you use my link and code Fireflies, you'll get them for $26. That's over 33% off. With my code, you can also get 20% off any body wash or toothpaste. So click the link in the description box below and place your order today. And now back to me. Okay, let's talk baby names. So I did make a list of 10 girl names and 10 boy names. My husband and I have talked about this a little bit. However, we still have not, at the time of filming, chosen a baby name yet. And we will not choose a baby name until after the baby is born. That's just how we do things. Okay, so let's just start going down the list. And we're going to start with girls' names. Okay, so the first girl name, and these are in no particular order on the list, by the way. It doesn't mean like the first name that I'm saying is my favorite or anything like that. They're just a list of names. Okay, so the first name on my list is Nava, and Nava means beautiful. Now, when I had my daughter, we did not name her Nava because there was already a Nava in the neighborhood, so I didn't want to name her Nava. So now that my daughter's even older, we know even more Navas, so this is not a name that could really make it to our top 3 because I like to choose names that aren't super common. Okay, which brings us to the next name on our list, which is Nama. So very similar to Nava, but just like really 1-letter difference, I think. At least in English, it's just 1-letter difference. So the name Nama means pleasantness, graciousness, and loveliness. So it pretty much means the same thing as Nava, but it's just like a little bit different. And this name does appear in Prophets and Navi as one of the wives of Solomon and mother of King Rehoboam of Judah. So, and if I'm remembering this name correctly, it is also the wife of Noah. So that one is definitely a biblical name. And historically, I have not really gone for biblical names, but I think because I'm doing a lot more Torah study these days, I'm a little bit more into biblical names than I used to be. So you'll see quite a few pop up on the list. Okay, next, Mayan. I love this name. Mayan is definitely a top 3 name for me. I really, really love it. It means spring of water or an oasis. And I know a couple of Mayans, nobody in the area, but like they're all just such lovely people. So it has like a beautiful connotation for me in general as well. So similar to that is the name Maya, which is the next name on my list. And that means spring or brook. Maya can also be a nickname for Mayan. However, we don't do nicknames It's like a Sephardi thing, and my Sephardi family is like very superstitious, so we don't shorten names. That's just something that we don't really do. The name Maya is Aramaic in origin. So that is another really beautiful name that I love. Another thing about the name Maya that I really love is that it's very easy for Americans to pronounce, but it's also a perfectly wonderful Israeli name as well. So it would work in either place. Okay, the next name on my list is Abigail. This is like the Hebrew version of Abigail. And this name means my father's joy, or my father is joyful. So she was one of the wives of King David, and she is described as being beautiful, intelligent, and a righteous woman. So all things that I would love to have in a daughter. So yeah, that would be another fabulous name for a girl. There is an Abigail in our neighborhood, but there's only one. And I do have to get to a point where I'm like, okay, I can't just not name people names of people that I know, because eventually that's just not gonna work out. So yeah, Abigail. All right, the next name on my list is Devorah. Now, the name Devorah means bee, like the insect. So I found this name while I was learning Nevi, while I was learning prophets. Devorah is one of the judges. She's absolutely amazing. She was the preeminent Torah scholar of her time. She was the judge who everybody came to for whatever it is that they needed. Like, she was awesome. And she was the judge for 40 years. So she had a very long tenure there of leading the Jewish people. Okay, but like her name means bee. And I was like, oh, I don't know about that. But when you look into that a little bit more, it actually is pretty cool. So some of the things that I found is that just as bees swarm behind a leader, so too are the Jews led by the sages and prophets who teach and guide them. And Devorah was the greatest Torah scholar and judge of her time. So it's also said that the name Devorah, meaning an insect, basically like a lowly insect, helps the person Devorah to remain humble. So that's always nice too. Okay, so the next name that I have on my list is Yael. And this is a name that I almost named my daughter. So Yael means God's strength, and it can also mean a mountain goat or an ibex. So I almost named my daughter Yael because she kicked me so much when I was pregnant with her. But then she was born and I was like, she's not a Yael. So she got a different name. But anyways, this name actually goes with the name we just said, Devorah, because Yael lived at the same time as Devorah. And they had this big battle, and Yael went in and killed the leader of the enemy army. So the leader of the enemy army had fled, and so Yael invited him into her tent, where she then killed him with a tent peg. And as a result, the Jewish people were saved. So she also was super duper rad. Yael is considered blessed, and in Devorah's song, in the book of Judges, it begins with, extolled above all women is Yael. So clearly she is held in high esteem. All right, the next name that I have is Noah. And this name means beauty of God. And it's not a biblical name, I just think it's really pretty. And then the final name that I have is Ayala, which means deer or gazelle. And again, this name is also not biblical, but I do think that it's just a really pretty name. Okay, so let's move on to the boys' names. Okay, all right, again, in no particular order, the first name that I have here on my list is Avshalom, and this means father is peace. So Avshalom was David's son, and he was the most handsome man in the kingdom. He had this like long, beautiful hair, and yeah, well, he ended up rebelling against his father and then died in battle. So didn't end as well for him, but I still like the name. I think it's a really nice name. Okay, so next boy's name that I have is Itai, and this means the Lord is with me. So this name is from the book of Samuel, so it is also from prophets. He was a very loyal friend of David. He was a very wise friend. So like, he has these great character traits that, of course, I would love to see in my children. Now, the only issue with this name is that it is not a modern name. So my husband and I tease each other, like we have this joke now with the name Martha, because whenever I'll come up with these names, I have no idea what's like a modern Hebrew name, a modern Israeli name, and like what's not. So I'll come to him and be like, how about this name? He goes, no, that's Martha. And that's his way of telling me that that's not a name anybody uses anymore. Though I feel like Martha is making a little bit of a comeback here in the States, but I could be wrong on that. I don't know. But regardless, it's not like a super common name, and it's a name that I think we probably more associate with like not young people in America. But anyways, that's what my husband told me about that name Itai. He says nobody really names their kids that anymore, so. All right, so the next name that I have on my list is Imri. Imri, I hope I'm saying that right. It means strength and power, and also my words spoken. So my husband has never heard of this name. I still really like it though. The name shows up in some genealogy listed in the Book of Chronicles, and it's from the tribe of Judah. So I don't really have a lot of information as far as like beyond that, as far as it being a biblical name, but I don't know, I kind of like it, and I like what it means, strength, so. Okay, the next name on the list that I have is Elhanan. This one is also from the book of Samuel, and this means God has graced him. So again, I love that meaning. I'm very into like the meanings behind names and not just like how I like the name sounding, though I do need both to work out. This was one of King David's cousins. So also biblical. Okay, the next name that I have is Eitan. I've loved this name for a long time. I think it's a really great name, and it means strongly flowing. So it makes me think of like a strong river or something like that. So Eitan appears as a grandson of Judah, and the Midrash says that Eitan is also a nickname for Abraham, the first Jew. So that is also pretty cool. Now we do have I have a nephew named Eitan, so I don't know that I would want to name my kid the same name as their cousin, but I also understand that my family has a couple cousins with the same name already, so I don't know. The name's not out of the running. Okay, next name on the list is Yair, and Yair means he will shine. I think that's really, really beautiful. This was a name that I almost named my oldest son, but then decided that that wasn't him either once he got to be born. I do this with all my kids. I think they're one name and then there's something else. And this pregnancy though, I've not had any idea what to call this child. So that's been fun. So Yair appears in the Bible as the grandson of Joseph. So that one is also a biblical name, but like more of like, I guess, subtly biblical, you know? Okay, so another name that I really, really love for a boy is Gidon, and this is Gideon in English. So this name means mighty warrior, and it honors one of the judges in Israel with the same name. I really did enjoy the book of Judges, so I'm pulling a lot of names from that book. All right, the next name that I have on the list is Yedidiah, and Yedidiah means beloved of God. However, this is another one of those Martha names, according to my husband. We do know Yedidiah, but it's like our friend's father, so apparently it's like an older name, but I still really like it. So Yedidiah is the name that God chose to call King Solomon, and I think that's really special. So, all right, the last name that I have for a boy is Elisha. Not Alicia, it's Elisha. Some people will name their kid Elisha and nickname him Ali. Again, we don't do the nicknames, so we would not do that as a nickname, but we would just use straight Elisha. And that means God will help or God will listen to our prayer. And I just love that too. I think that's really nice. And we did pray quite a bit for this child. So Elisha appears as a prophet who is the main disciple of Elijah the prophet. And this was in the book of Malachim, which I just finished learning, the book of Kings. So I really enjoyed his story in there. I thought he was a very interesting character, and I enjoyed reading about him. So that's another cool name on the list. So those are 10 boy names and 10 girl names that we are tossing around for this little baby growing in my belly. And while I won't share what we end up choosing, this is some ideas that we are discussing, so you kind of just know some things we're thinking about and talking about. And if you're looking for a Jewish name for your baby, those are some fun ideas. And that's all the baby names that I have to share with you today. So I hope that you guys enjoyed. I really enjoyed sharing them with you, as always. Remember to check out Native Deodorant. I will link to them in the pinned comment and in the description box below. And use my code Fireflies for that discount on your products. All right, and with that, we will go ahead and call this video a close. Thank you so much for being here. As always, I super appreciate it. Please give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and be sure to subscribe if you have not yet subscribed. I would absolutely love to see you here again. Now drop me a comment down below and let me know what are some of your favorite baby names. I would love to hear. Let's get that conversation going. All right, and with that, this video is over. Thank you so much for being here. I hope you all have a fantastic rest of your day, and I will see you in my next upload. So the name Nama means pleasantness, graciousness, and it's just something that we don't really do. Another thing that no, Bella, no, go on. You're very loud. Go. The leader of the enemy army